Everybody, this is Teresa Swann. I wanted to make this video about the troubling times we're in at the moment. I don't worry about them anymore because I know what's happening. Now, if Boris is telling the truth, he wants to get out, but he's probably playing part of the pantomime, as I call it. It's like a pantomime, isn't it? And they're playing their acts in the play, you could say, couldn't you? Now, the Supreme Court said that if he didn't agree to certain things, they'd override him. Well, that proves beyond doubt to all the people who never realised other people running this country, there is. So they can basically put him in prison or do what they want to him. But what is that exactly? When I heard this and I thought, well, they are supposed to be working for us. Whoever it is supposed to be working for the better of all of us, isn't it? Which we know they don't. But anyway, if they did that and they overturned Boris, put him in prison or just got rid of him and moved in, these people who are unelected, they would be going against all of us. So what that actually is treason. Because if you look up treason, it means the betrayal of the betrayal of allegiances towards one's own country. The betrayal of the betrayal, of course, of someone's trust or confidence, that's us. The betrayal of allegiance towards one's own country does not mean, to me, the king or queen, whoever's there. It's us, isn't it? The betrayal towards us. The people who voted to come out of Brexit. The people here want people in power who do what's best for us, not what's best for them. It also means a betraying and treachery, a breach of faith. Because we all grow up, I don't think so now, my sons aren't like this, all their friends, having faith in that the government helps you, don't they? Or the police help you. Well, they don't, do they? So the government or the people who run them, the Supreme Court, are betraying us. So to me that is an act of treason. It is an offence of acting to overturn one's government. So the Supreme Court would be, to me, be doing a treasonous act against the government if they tried to overturn the government, wouldn't they? Because if we tried to do it, they'd do us for that, wouldn't they? But if they're trying to do it, they are committing treason. So this is always a breach of trust. It's like when it's coming up to elections, they lie about what they're going to do. Like, what was the one I heard this morning? I can't remember what that was. It was something that people would want. And it's you know, sooner or later there's going to be elections, so they're saying, you know, oh, we're going to do that if we get in. I don't know, I wasn't even listening to it, but it was something that people would really want. And of course it won't happen because they lie. So that's a breach of your trust, isn't it? A breach of your faith. They've lied to you. So lying to me like that greatly affects millions of people, is an act of such a huge act against, it deserves prison, doesn't it? Because if you fib about something, because there are fibs and lies, some people say lies are all the same, they're not. Because if you fib, it's generally to protect someone else's feelings, isn't it? When you actually lie, that's actually going to affect someone's life. That is a big difference between a fib, isn't it? As we used to call them when we were children. But I like this, the betrayal of someone's trust or confidence. This is what they do all the time, don't they? It was nearly, wasn't it, 17 million people, including me, voted to come out of Europe, and it hasn't happened, has it? So they are not doing what we asked. So that is is a betrayal of us, and that is one of the things, if you look up treason, what treason means. It's a betrayal of someone, usually a big thing like your country. So it's a betrayal of us, isn't it? So shouldn't they be in prison? Shouldn't they be being put on trial? Because they're speeding something up now because they realise that lots of people are waking up to this now. I mean, clearly you would have had to be living in a hole in the ground, wouldn't you, to actually not know about Brexit? Really, I don't watch the news and I know about it. Hear it from other people, don't you? See it on the headlines on the newspapers when you go in shops. I hear it in my car radio. I usually turn it off, but you know, we all know that we haven't got what we asked for. And they've been delaying it and delaying it and delaying it. And there are people that I know who believe they're doing this on purpose to drag out 2020 or 21 it is, to bring in the what's it called? Something 21. But it was signed years ago that we didn't know about or agree to. And it's basically to bring in that new world order, isn't it? And they're speeding it up now because the world is waking up. What's happening in Hong Kong, the people have been protesting, haven't they? And people, because of social media and the news, see this, and then they're starting to, you know, my own son is like me. He's very open and he can see what's going on. He's told friends, they didn't believe him. You know, this started a couple of years ago. He was telling them the way things really were. They thought he was mad. Now they don't. Now they're telling their parents. So you see, it's also speeding up that people are finding out and people are coming to this realisation, oh, we're controlled, when they didn't know that. And MPs in Parliament are supposed to be there for doing what we want them to do, not us working for them. They're supposed to be working for us, aren't they? So people need to wake up to this and start standing up to it. And like yesterday in the UK and around the world, they're protesting about climate change. I don't personally believe that's real because I know the planet goes in cycles. The United Kingdom has been in an ice age before, it's been warmer before, it's been a similar temperature before. It goes in cycles. If it's warming up, it's just something that, one of those cycles, isn't it? Although if most people in the UK would say it's not warming up, you know. And when they say that we, you know, every summer, like, oh, it's climate change when you get freakishly hot weather. I'm 54, and every summer since I've been aware, so what, 3-4 years old, I remember very hot weather. There was very hot weather when I couldn't cope with it, my mum couldn't cope with it. It's been going on for at least, to my knowledge, it's been going on all my life, obviously, but it's been going on at least the ones I remember, which is about 51 years. So it hasn't just happened, has it? It's been happening all the time. If you speak to if you've got grandparents alive, speak to them, ask them what summers were like. They were hot, you know, and went on longer. You know, they weren't like now. So something's changed. Yes, the weather's got worse, as in, like, it's not as sunny, isn't it? We've got opinions of why that is, haven't we? But treason, look it up for yourself. It often says at the beginning against king and queen, but it's really against country. So that country is us, isn't it? They're going against us. So if Boris could be just faking it, couldn't he, pretending he's wanting to get out, but he doesn't. Well, he does, and he wants to get out, and he's determined to do that for the country and the people. And they're just going to go, no, and put a big foot on him and squash him, aren't they? So then everybody surely is asking, who are those people? Who are they that can stomp all over the government? You know? So we want them out, don't we? We didn't elect them, we didn't choose them, most people didn't even know they were there. So they are not working for the benefit of us. So if they, like I said, kick Boris out of the way, or they will be committing treason against us. So it's a very interesting time, isn't it? It gives a lot more to talk about, doesn't it, than Coronation Street or EastEnders, which I don't watch. But I used to, one of them. But I don't now. If you get your head out of the TV and start actually doing research on YouTube and you find out all sorts of different things. I used to worry about this new world order thing, but I don't worry about it now because I have felt for years something's coming. We're being helped in some way, whether that be from underground, from above, somewhere. And that help could be the fact that people are waking up. Every day somebody else is waking up. Not just one person, I mean multiple people, about millions probably around the world. They're all waking up. They think their friend's bonkers, and then next week they don't think their friend's bonkers, don't know. And it might take a year, mightn't it? But, you know, the first time I ever heard that 9/11 was a setup, this was about, I was with my ex-husband, so it was pre-2010. I didn't believe that. I thought, because my exact comments were, why would they do that to innocent people? Don't think that anymore. Well, I soon woke up from that. It only took about a year after that, and I just thought, oh my God, yes. Then I started to open doors in my head, and then I realised what was going on, what's been going on since I've been little. You can't do just what you want, can you? You do have freedom to a point, don't you? But if you do something illegal, there'll be someone knocking at your door or chasing your car, won't there? Or tapping on your window if you're in your parked car. They do, don't they? And that proves beyond doubt we're controlled. But of course they are controlled, those police as well, and the police are controlled. Everybody's controlled. The people in the Houses of Parliament are controlled, aren't they? The Prime Minister is controlled. So we've got to put a stop to it, haven't we? you have to have some order. Of course you do. Otherwise, people would. They say they'd go mad. Would they? Would they or wouldn't they? If you haven't got stressed and worried about things, you're not going to be so unhappy, are you? And get so angry. So thank you all for listening. Look up what's going on. There was a man. I don't know if you can find this man on YouTube. It's called Simon Bean. This is what prompted me to do this. I was going to do this last week, but he sent out this video today, and I don't know if it's on YouTube. I got it from my brother. About what's happening now. They're going to, from November the 1st, all the armed forces, say in this country, are all going to merge into Europe. It's all going to be taken over from Europe for the whole of the forces in France, Germany, Britain, Spain, everywhere. It's going to be ruled by Europe. That's a bit worrying, isn't it? Just a little bit worrying, but don't worry about it. But do something about it. Start speaking up. Start telling your friends. Look him up. He must be on YouTube, unless of course they've shut him down. He's called Simon Bean. It looks like, because the first of all it was Sean Bean, but it's not Simon Bean. And he said that there's 2 men in Parliament today speaking up about this. So these must be MPs who are worried and concerned about it. They might be from the military, but that's what's happening. So October the 31st is going to be an interesting day or not. Of course, don't forget that is a date. Halloween is blown out of all proportion for ordinary people, isn't it? Because it's actually a satanic celebration on one of their favourite days. So that might be where they've put it on October the 31st, mightn't it? And then in the next day bring in what they want to bring in. So they're not going to tell us, are they? They're not going to tell us what they're doing. Well, thank you all for listening. Have a lovely, lovely day.